welcome to the stage the NDSU Foundation President and CEO, John Glover.
Good evening. How's everybody's hair tonight? Did we get it all fixed up? I guess we're windy Fargo Bison tonight, so good luck to you as you go home. Hopefully the wind has gone down. Once again, welcome to the 2026 edition of the NDSU Foundation's Evening of Distinction. Please continue to enjoy your dinner as we begin tonight's program. Again, we're going to be here for about 3 hours. Lyndon Johnson, your advice on longer is better, John. Longer is better. Nobody likes to sit in their seats for a short amount of time. So we're honored that you have all taken time out of your busy schedules to join us here tonight to celebrate our honorees and philanthropists. Our donor recognition societies honor individuals and organizations that have invested extraordinary generosity to NDSU through the years. We are pleased to recognize those who have achieved a new level of giving in 2025, some of whom are joining us here tonight. To those of you here with us and those who are unable to join tonight, we thank you for your continued generosity and support of North Dakota State University. Because of your generosity, NDSU continues to expand access to education, invest in hands-on learning and research, and deliver on its land-grant mission, meeting students where they are and preparing them for where they are going. Your support strengthens the herd and ensures future generations of Bison have the opportunity to learn, lead, and serve. So tonight we'll start with recognition with the President's Society. So members of the President's Society have made a gift or multiple gifts or have pledged to give in the range between $25,000 to $250,000 or more. I ask that the following members of the President's Society who are joining us tonight to stand and remain standing as I call your name, and everybody hold your applause until I ask you to applaud. Tammy, yeah, just hold tight. I'll tell you when to applaud. So, yeah, not now, Dave. Although I shouldn't instruct my boss to say not now. Yeah, exactly. I should say, how high would you like me to jump, Dave? Is that how it works? Tammy Bangs Anderson, Dr. Aaron J. DeWald, Tim Flackle, Jen Tingley and Mark Foley, Barbara Ledoux, Mindak Farmer Cooperative, represented tonight by Rick Casper and Mike Metzger, Audrey Roach, Curtis Stofferin, Jim Taylor and Alan Q, Betty Jo and Wade Wilson, Blue Key National Honor Society, represented by Olivia Lingang and Kaylee Kwam. Please join me in a round of applause for our new members to the President's Society. So only because I'm going to go off script here a moment, we're really proud and excited to have our new student body president in attendance tonight, and I just said her name, but I'm going to give a shout out to her again. Please congratulate Kaylee Kwam. Kaylee, please stand and be recognized. She's over here. Kaylee served on the presidential search committee with me and a number of others, and Kaylee was the one that chose Dr. Marshall Stewart, so you can thank her for that. Okay, so named after the most recognized landmark on campus, Old Main, the Old Main Society consists of philanthropists who have made a gift, multiple gifts, or have pledged to give $250,000 up to $500,000. So I asked the following members of the Old Main Society who are joining us tonight to stand and remain standing as I call your name. Dr. Mel Anderson, represented tonight by David and Jane Anderson. Interim President Rick Berg and Tracy Martin. Brent and Patty Christian. Dakota Bank, represented tonight by Patrick Erickson and Paige Bjornson. Let's thank these members of the Old Main Society. The Founders Society is named for the North Dakotans who were instrumental in the establishment of NDSU in 1890. Members of the Founders Society have made a gift, multiple gifts, or have pledged to give between $500,000 up to $1 million. I ask the members of the Founders Society who are joining us tonight to stand as I share a brief introduction of about you and your organization. Bison Electric Power Cooperative, represented tonight by Gavin McCollum. Bison Electric Power Cooperative has supported many areas of NDSU agriculture, including the Quentin Burdick Center for Co-ops, several building projects, including the Richard Offerdahl 65 Engineering Complex, and events such as Harvest Bowl. They also support Bison to the Bakken, and will be a featured visit for students during this fall's visit. Bison Electric representatives volunteer on numerous boards across the College of Agriculture and the College of Engineering. Kent and Jody Carlson. Kent graduated from NDSU in 1977 with a degree in General Ag, and together, Kent and Jody have established 2 scholarship endowments and are members of Teammakers. Paul Cassette. Paul is a 1982 NDSU graduate with a degree in construction engineering. He was also a member of the College of Engineering's Distinguished Alumni Award in 2013, and he is currently an NDSU Foundation trustee. Grant Henriksen. Grant obtained his computer science degree from NDSU in 1999. He is a member of the Golden Key International Honor Society and NDSU College of Arts and Sciences Advisory Board member. Howie and Shannon Killalea. Howie earned his Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from NDSU in 1992 and his Master of Science in Polymers and Coating Science in 1994. He was active in St. Paul's Newman Center and Tau Kappa Epsilon as a student and is currently a trustee of the NDSU Foundation. Shannon obtained her Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Biomedical Engineering from NDSU in 1991 and her Master of Science in Electrical Engineering in 1997. She is a member of the College of Engineering's Advisory and Advancement Board. Join me in thanking these members for their contributions. Okay, the 1862 Society. Members of the 1862 Society have reached the highest level of public recognition for support given to NDSU. This society was formed in 1990 and is named after the year Congress passed the Morrill Act, creating America's land-grant universities. Donors are honored at legacy levels based on cumulative gifts or pledges of more than $1 million, $10 million, and $25 million. Tonight's members have all reached the $1 million legacy level. Believe me, there's plenty of room for the $10 million and $25 million levels. Before the end of the night, Mr. Berg, we're happy to recognize you up here. Sorry, was that it? Yep. 1862 Society members with us tonight. Please stand as I share a brief introduction of you and your organization. The Animal Sciences Foundation, represented by Dr. Paul Berg and others. The Animal Science Education Foundation supports production of animal agriculture curriculum and related activities within the NDSU Department of Animal Sciences. They were instrumental in establishing the Animal Sciences Judging Team Endowment that supports 3 endowed coaching positions now at NDSU. David and Stephanie Clouston. Dave earned his degree in political science from NDSU in 1990. During his time at NDSU, he was a member of the Mortarboard Honor Society, Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society, and Phi Sigma Alpha. He is currently a member of the NDSU Foundation's Executive Governing Board, a member of the College of Arts and Sciences Advisory Board, and a member of Teammakers. Dave and Stephanie have given back to NDSU in many ways, including the Clouston Family Political Science and Public Policy Faculty Fellowship and the Kenneth Clouston Family Political Science Endowment. They also support the NDSU Pre-Law Club and experiential trips to Dallas, Bismarck, and Washington, D.C. John T. Norgard. John is represented tonight by Rich Thompson and John Warburg. John Norgard received his Bachelor of Science degree in 1975 and Master of Science in 1976, both from NDSU in plant pathology. Currently, he serves as the Vice Chair of the State Board of Agricultural Research and Education and recently established the John T. Norgard Endowed Professorship in Plant Pathology. North Dakota Farmers Union, represented tonight by Matt and Abby Perdue, and Gary Wordish on behalf of the Farmers Union Enterprises Incorporated. North Dakota Farmers Union and their related entities, Farmers Union Enterprises, North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance, and North Dakota Farmers Union Educational Foundation have supported many areas of NDSU agriculture, including the Center for Risk and Trading, the Quentin Burdick Center for Co-ops, several building projects, and established the Farmers Union Endowed Professorship in the Center for Agricultural Policy and Trade Studies. Paul and Sinye Neistun. Paul and Sinye support 2 scholarships at NDSU, one with the College of Engineering and a family scholarship reflecting generations of NDSU tradition, beginning with Paul's father, Peter, who devoted 35 years to the College of Agriculture. Paul has continued that legacy with a Bachelor of Science in 1972 and a Master of Science in 1974 in Mechanical Engineering. Sinye, originally from Colorado, has found a lasting connection with NDSU. Sandy Scholl. Sandy graduated from NDSU with a Bachelor of Science in 1974 and her Master of Science in Community and Regional Planning in 1989. To honor her family farming legacy, Sandy has funded an endowed scholarship for students to earn degrees in the College of Agriculture, Food Science, and Natural Resources. Please join me in a round of applause to thank our 1862 members, society members. So once again, thank you to all of our new Recognition Society members, and I would be remiss if we did not take a moment to recognize and acknowledge all members of our existing Recognition Societies. We are grateful for your continued support to enhance the student experience through scholarships, facilities, faculty, and programs. Your generosity creates opportunity, and those opportunities are reflected in the lives and accomplishments of the alumni we honor next. So tonight, the alumni and partners we honor exemplify excellence through professional achievement, volunteer leadership, community impact, and philanthropic commitment. They are outstanding representatives for our university and the state of North Dakota. Each honoree carries forward the applied hands-on education they received at NDSU, putting knowledge into action and making a tangible difference in the industries, communities, and professions of which they are a part of. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge any past Alumni Award recipients in attendance. If you are a past honoree, and I think you all know who you are, please stand and be recognized. Come on, don't be shy. Some of you are in the room. Down here, look at this table. Over here. Thank you for being here tonight and for your continued support of NDSU. Before we recognize this year's honorees, I'd like to invite Interim President Rick Berg to the stage to help with handing out the awards. So please join me in welcoming President Berg to the stage. We'll give Rick the microphone a little bit later. The 3-hour program just moved to 6, so there you go. So on behalf of the NDSU Foundation Alumni Awards Committee, it is my honor to recognize the 2026 recipients. So we begin tonight with the Horizon Award. The Horizon Award recognizes alumni who have graduated within the past 15 years. I said 15, not 50 years, just in case. And have attained remarkable success in their profession or have been engaged in outstanding community service. Born in Mayville, North Dakota, Robbie Lauf is a 4th-generation NDSU graduate, class of 2015. Whose deep connection to the university is shaping his journey. After earning his degree, he completed a master's in public policy at Harvard's Kennedy School in 2020. Today, Robbie serves as the founding executive director of the $450 million, it might be more than that actually as each day goes by, Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, which opens in Medora on July 4th of this year. An effort Robbie calls this an effort of his career up to this point. His mission-driven work also includes roles as political director for Governor Doug Burgum's first campaign, senior policy advisor in the governor's office, research assistant to author and professor Arthur Brooks at Harvard, and positions with the Federal Reserve Board and McKinsey & Company. At NDSU, Robbie's leadership as student body president and involvement in Blue Key National Honor Society and Delta Tau Delta shaped his commitment to service. He remains closely tied to the university through family traditions and initiatives like Bison Caucus and many others. As nominator Tim Flackel noted, Robbie's intelligence, character, and dedication to the common good have enabled him to make an extraordinary impact early in his career. Let's enjoy a closer look at the inspiring path of our Horizon Award recipient, Robbie Lauf.
My name is Robbie Lauf. I'm Executive Director of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, and I graduated from NDSU in 2015. Growing up in Mayville was a pretty incredible experience, very proudly a Class B kid. When I was in high school, I was extremely interested in politics and government. I would spend a lot of my time watching C-SPAN. I had incredible parents, Rob and Kim Lauf, still very involved in the NDSU community. We grew up going to NDSU football games and basketball games every week. From a very young age, I knew that NDSU was the place I wanted to be. I'm a fourth generation NDSU graduate. When I got to NDSU, I decided to move towards the political science department. My sister was a student at NDSU when I went there. She introduced me to the campus. She introduced me to all my friends. I quickly joined everything from student government, Delta Tau Delta fraternity, Blue Key Honor Society, Bison ambassadors, college Republicans, and the NDSU Scuba Club. The first job I had at NDSU was working for then Congressman Rick Berg's Senate campaign. Through things like Bike Share on Campus, which was a program we launched when I was student body president, the first person I got to meet through that program was a guy named Doug Burgum.
Robbie and I first got to know each other at NDSU, and we really got to know each other in student government. He was student body president. He was a Truman Scholar, which is, for those that know, it's a huge honor, known across the globe.
Through the Truman Scholarship, which I applied for, I was fortunate to get an interview. And then I got an email from Dr. Dean Brashani, the president of NDSU, that said, hey, we need you to come into the president's office right away. And he says, well, I got some pretty big news today. NDSU got their first Truman Scholar in 30, 40 years. After NDSU, I quickly moved to Washington, D.C., did the Truman Scholarship Leadership Summer. But then that fall, our then Governor Jack Dalrymple announced that he was not going to run for another term. But I just had a really good feeling in my gut that the man of the moment was Doug Burgum. So ended up being the first hire on his campaign.
I was maybe the third or fourth hire on the team, and we really didn't stand much of a chance at the beginning. But the team had so much energy and passion because of the vision of Doug.
We ended up winning a pretty surprising victory in the primary and then getting ready for the governorship. I took the opportunity to go serve in his administration. So everybody started reaching out, wanting to talk to the next governor of North Dakota. There was a guy named Bruce Pitts. He reached out and he said, I want to tell you a little bit about the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library we're trying to build at Dickinson State University. And I said, this is the most incredible idea I've ever heard. And I was going to brief the governor. I said, I think it needs to move to Medora, North Dakota. And I don't think it's a $15 million project. I think it's a $50 million project. And he said, I think you're wrong. My face went white. I was so disappointed. And he said, it's a $500 million project. And from that day forward, I think I've been fortunate enough to work on this project every day for 10 years. A few years into the Burgum administration, I had committed myself to still going to graduate school. I was fortunate enough to get into the Harvard Kennedy School, where I went after my master's in public policy. I thought a pretty big risk in my career to kind of take a pause, but frankly, I knew that further education was something that was important to me and that I could return afterwards. After Harvard, I ended up working at McKinsey, management consulting company. But frankly, I also learned that I really missed North Dakota. During my time at McKinsey, I got set up on a blind date in Medora. I drove 8 hours to come to the Badlands to meet a girl named Medora. And 1 minute into that date, I knew I'd be moving home because I fell in love. While I was at Harvard, I also met this guy named Ed O'Keefe. He was writing a book about Theodore Roosevelt. Fast forward 4 or 5 years, he is the CEO of the library, and as he jokes, he paid me back by convincing me to come full-time work on this incredible project.
Robbie taking on the role as executive director was the perfect full circle moment. Robbie was one of the first guys to help make that connection with the governor that, hey, this library, it can be something even grander than what it's currently planned.
I think the benefits of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library will be felt in every classroom across the state of North Dakota. This institution is going to attract global thinkers to discuss the greatest issues of our day, of conservation, about how we're going to take care of this planet for the next century. It's our hope to have presidential debates here, to make it a community gathering space where everybody feels welcome.
Robbie's deserving of the award because he's always thinking about what's the new thing that we can do. How do we bring more life to a project that we currently are working on, or how do we bring a new project in North Dakota? Could go on and on and on about Robbie and all the accomplishments he's had. And the amazing part is it's happened in such a short period of time.
My wife Medora and I live in Bismarck, and we spend our summers in Medora. That's a pretty special life for us, raising our 18-month-old son, Bobby. Will he be the next generation of NDSU grads? All Robert Charles Laufs have gone to NDSU. I would not be who I am if it weren't for NDSU. My greatest role models in leadership were at NDSU. People like Dean Brashani, like Doug Burgum, Christy Hansen. These people that transformed my life and made me better. I think North Dakota State University is an economic driver for the future of North Dakota. And it's my goal to continue to use and support NDSU as a place to grow our state, to grow our economy, to transform the lives of our citizens. Supporting higher education is fundamental to our future, and I just know that NDSU will continue to play a larger and larger role in our state as we go forward.
Welcome to the stage, 2026 Horizon Award honoree, Robbie Lauf.
Congratulations, Robbie. We'll see you in July, beginning of July in Medora. Really excited about all of that. Next is the Henry L. Bali Academic Achievement Award. The Henry L. Bali Academic Achievement Award honors individuals who have attained notable achievements in education as teachers, researchers, and/or administrators. Tonight, I would like to recognize the outstanding contributions of Dr. Karen Launchbaugh. Karen, class of 1984, has built a distinguished career grounded in scientific excellence, inspired teaching, and the land-grant mission. Raised on a ranch in western North Dakota, she discovered her passion for rangelands early and pursued a bachelor's degree in range science at NDSU. Here, she developed strong leadership skills, and she went on to earn graduate degrees from Texas A&M and Utah State University. Now a professor of rangeland ecology at the University of Idaho, Karen is internationally recognized for her pioneering work in targeted grazing, co-editing the influential 2006 text that helped shape national conservation and land restoration programs. Her research is known for its practical impact, directly benefiting ranchers, land managers, and public agencies across the West. Teaching has been central to her career. Known for immersive field-based learning and exceptional mentorship, she has inspired generations of students and earned major honors, including the Range Science Education Council's Outstanding Undergraduate Teaching Award and Idaho's U.S. Professor of the Year. Dr. Launchbaugh's story is one of purpose and curiosity. Let's take a moment to learn more about her remarkable impact.
I'm Karen Launchbaugh. I'm a professor of rangeland ecology here at the University of Idaho. I grew up in North Dakota and I graduated from North Dakota State in 1984, way back then, with a degree in range management. Been doing range management my whole life. Beach, like many towns in North Dakota, it revolved around agriculture. Got the ranch when I was about in 4th or 5th grade, and I just fell in love with it. I liked working in school. I was an FFA. I learned how to weld. I did all of those kind of farm techniques. I just liked working out with the animals, but also plants. It was fascinating to me. Well, NDSU was the obvious choice for me because my dad graduated there in ag economics. Not a lot of schools have range programs, but they did, and it was what I was interested in, so it was an easy move. The professors there would take students to the Society for Range Management meeting. And I talked my professor into, hey, maybe we could have a range club here. And probably because I tortured all my friends to do this, I was the first president. And I got into 2 honor societies, Blue Key and Mortarboard. I was with the Catholic Student Center, and I was in choir the whole 4 years. When I got done with my degree at NDSU, I did my master's degree at Texas A&M, way down in College Station, and then my master's degree was focused on animal nutrition, trying to understand how animals garnered enough nutrients from the range. My PhD was at Utah State, so I went there and became Dr. Launchbaugh. What I did in my PhD was animal behavior. And then my first job was at Texas Tech. By putting nutrition and behavior together, I started answering that question, why do animals do what they do? And I started working with people to draft what is now called targeted grazing.
Her research has been groundbreaking on targeted grazing. We study that very thing in North Dakota, using sheep and goats to graze invasive species. She kind of laid the groundwork that, yeah, this sort of thing can work.
When people can use my research and do something on the ground, that means a lot to me.
She does a lot with mentoring of agricultural educators that are in the FFA programs throughout Idaho.
I met the director of the Idaho Rangeland Resource Commission along with a high school teacher. We wrote a grant and we started what's now called the Western National Range Assessment event. Students learned all the things that we normally do as range managers in high school. 10 years later, we've got 5 states and over 100 students that get to the nationals every year.
She has a passion for rangeland education and improving upon that throughout her career. And so I think that is also going to be a legacy that she leaves behind. She's a great instructor, a great teacher. It just sinks in and stays there.
She's really devoted to making sure that students build roots that follow them far beyond their time at university.
Karen's so deserving of the award. One, her passion for teaching, the Range Science Education Council.
Serving on university committees and being a champion for the curriculum program here at the University of Idaho. She has been the president of the Society for Range Management and held just about every role along every committee along the way there.
I kind of have this motto that rangelands are everywhere and you should be able to learn from anywhere. So most of my lectures are online for anybody to listen to.
She just freely gave a lot of her lectures out, a lot of her information.
Shocking that people would log on to YouTube and learn about range through lectures from a professor, but thousands of people do. NDSU is always in my heart. I'll always keep that exchange with my colleagues, but also I love the exchange of the students because I've had students that I've recommended go to get a degree at North Dakota. I have a student that finished his master's degree a few years ago. I've had students from NDSU come to the U of I to do field work with us in the summer. I think a signature of my teaching is that I don't think you can learn range from a book. My favorite field trips, I have several that I do that are 4 nights and 5 days, and we just get out there and all throw our bedrolls out. It's about being out on the land and seeing the plants and where they grow and the animals, but building this community of people around the fire.
With Karen, you can feel that passion palpably, and you want to be a part of whatever she's got that passion for.
I like working on the range. I like working with students, and when I need some time off, it's being with my family and my husband and playing music. The greatest honor was when the University of Idaho nominated me to be the Professor of the Year. When I got that award, I realized, gosh, how amazing that I've been recognized by my departments, my college, my university, and then my profession. Now I can just go back to having fun with teaching.
Welcome to the stage, 2026 Henry L. Bawley Academic Achievement Honoree, Dr. Karen Launchbaugh.
The NDSU Alumni Achievement Award recognizes alumni who have attained outstanding professional accomplishments. Our 2026 Alumni Achievement Award winner is Michael Uetz. Michael Uetz grew up in North Dakota with deep ranching roots. There must be a theme here tonight. Experiences that shaped his lifelong connection to agriculture. He began at NDSU as a pharmacy major, but soon discovered his passion for agricultural economics, a shift that set the foundation for his career. During his time on campus, he thrived academically, served as a resident assistant, joined Alpha Zeta, and completed a formative internship with the Federal Land Bank. After earning his degree in 1982, Michael pursued a Master of Science degree in food marketing at Cornell, broadening his expertise before launching a career that included consulting and a leadership role with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. He later co-founded Myden Marketing, a pioneering agency for the meat industry known for advancing consumer research, standardizing retail meat coding and nutrition labeling, and helping introduce beef value cuts to the market. A dedicated advocate for agriculture, Michael has supported future leaders through scholarships and classroom engagement at NDSU. He takes pride in staying connected to his roots and championing the people who produce the nation's food, noting that work in an industry tied to his upbringing has been deeply rewarding. So, guided by his roots, Michael continues to make a difference. Please enjoy the video.
My name is Michael Uetz, and I'm a strategic consultant with Mind & Marketing, and I graduated from NDSU in 1982. I grew up in southwest North Dakota, a small town called Beach. When I was in the 7th grade, I ended up going out to the family ranch and working for my uncle. My grandfather gave each of us a cow, and the goal was for us to raise a couple head of cattle to use to support us when we went away to school. I went to NDSU for Ag Econ and Finance. So when I was a junior, I interned with the Federal Land Bank. Loved the opportunity. They made me an offer for full-time employment after I graduated, and that was kind of my dream. That's where I wanted to be. Got a letter my senior year from a university I'd never heard of, Cornell, offering to have me come and work with a professor there in the Ag Econ department. I decided to take this opportunity and go see what Cornell had to offer me. What I did in the research realm at Cornell really was a kickstart to where my career would go from there. I started working with a professor named Ed McLaughlin in trying to understand the dynamics of supermarket delis. After I left Cornell, I had an incredible career with the National Livestock and Meat Board and then the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, but there came a time when they wanted everybody on the team to move to Denver, and I chose not to go. I reached out to a good friend of mine, Danette Amstein, and we started Maiden in 2004. The thing that we really got passionate about was when we worked with meat companies, with ag companies.
The reason why Michael's deserving of this award is he has achieved something in the meat industry that very few others have. What his career has really done is help bring clarity to that meat case, not only in terms of helping consumers understand the nutritional value of those meat products, but also helping consumers see innovative ways that they can prepare those products. Michael's experience growing up in Western North Dakota really translates into, his career and the things that he's achieved.
The kinds of things that I've done in my career were bringing nutrition labeling to the package of meat in the meat case, understanding how to bring more value to the end cuts of an animal because we have to sell the entire animal, working to understand the consumer's mindset and what drives them to purchase in the meat case or at a grocery store or when they're purchasing online. I really tried to be someone who challenged the industry, but also worked to evolve the industry and make sure that we continue to be relevant, evolving and changing an industry, but it's also been on supporting and developing young individuals. We're finding that more of our kids who grew up on a farmer ranch aren't staying on the farmer ranch. Not necessarily because they don't want to, but they can't. They can't financially afford to.
One of the great ways that Michael's given back to NDSU is to create this scholarship endowment for students.
The Michael Uetz Scholarship Program really focuses on students who want to get a degree in agriculture. It's very satisfying to give back in that way and work to attract and develop youth for our industry.
Having our students be able to see an industry professional that's came from kind of the same walk of life that they're coming from, maybe it opens some doors for them that they hadn't thought about in terms of career, or helps them understand, what other technical expertise, training might they need to get to be able to step into a career like that.
When I went to North Dakota State, I went there for an education, but I really took away the ability to interact with people. I took that and continued to use it and develop it in my career.
Welcome to the stage, 2026 Alumni Achievement Award honoree, Michael Uetz.
So at this time, we'll take halftime. Everybody can go to the bathroom. I'm kidding. You got to stay. But we are going to take a break from recognizing this evening's awardees and hear a few words from one of today's NDSU students. As a land-grant institution, NDSU is committed to opening doors for students and preparing them through hands-on learning for meaningful careers and lives of impact. Our distinguished student speaker tonight represents that promise in action. Chance Bollinger from Bismarck, North Dakota, will be graduating with a master's degree in computer science this spring. He earned his bachelor's degree in mathematics and computer science at NDSU in 2025. So while at NDSU, Chance has been involved in student organizations, including Chi Alpha, the Rock Climbing Club, the Grand Challenge Scholars Program, the College of Arts and Sciences Ambassadors, and NDSU Jazz Ensemble. In fact, Chance has played jazz piano in the lobby for the past 3 evenings of distinction. This year, we're glad to welcome him up onto the stage. Chance offers tutoring in computer science and mathematics through NDSU's ACE tutoring program and is a software engineer for Applied Digital. His scholarships and accolades include the MDU Teen of the Year. How about that memory, Dave Gooden? NDSU National Merit Scholarship, NDS North Dakota Scholars Program, the Mathematics Scholarship Endowment, and additional private support. So please welcome to the stage our 2026 NDSU Distinguished Student Speaker, Chance Bollinger. Come on up, Chance.
Honorees, Recognition Society members, and distinguished guests. I'm honored to speak on behalf of the NDSU student body today. NDSU is a special place to me, filled with incredible memories and deeply rooted friendships. But I didn't always see it this way. As you listen to my story tonight, I hope you can see me as an example that the culture of this university can truly shape hearts and minds. My time at NDSU has been marked by tremendous growth. And while I've certainly grown academically, the most meaningful growth has been socially, spiritually, and in how I define success. Before coming to NDSU, I was highly ambitious, and I envisioned success as competence across the areas where I applied myself: academics, athletics, music. I believed that if I was growing and pursuing excellence in these areas, I would find fulfillment and satisfaction. But I was wrong. Let me take you back in time. As a freshman in high school, I began resume preparation. My eyes were not set on Fargo, but were aimed instead at the Ivy League colleges on the East Coast. I was attracted to the rigor of a prestigious university, and I sought a sense of belonging that I didn't always find in North Dakota. By my senior year in high school, I'd achieved all that I'd set out to accomplish and more. The 36 on the ACT, National Merit Scholar, 6-year All-State music participant, Athlete of the Year in soccer. I was told I was a shoo-in at any college of my choice. Instead, I was waitlisted by all of my top institutions, which was devastating. I dejectedly applied to NDSU and enrolled in the fall of 2022. But I arrived frustrated and convinced that I would never realize my full potential here. As time went on, I started to enjoy my classes and professors. I got involved in the jazz ensemble, rock climbing club, and in many other campus organizations. But there was something fundamentally lacking, and I felt as if I'd fallen off of my intended path. Then, during my fall of my sophomore year, I had a profound faith encounter that significantly altered my trajectory. I realized that I hadn't earned the gifts and talents that I have, but that they were given by God and fostered by the incredible teachers, mentors, and peers who had selflessly poured into me for so long. I developed a heartfelt sense of gratitude, and this redirected my story from an internal focus on self-seeking ambition to an external focus, considering the needs of others before my own. Since that turning point, I have truly loved my time at NDSU, and I'm deeply grateful for the institution and the amazing people who make it what it is. My transformation has been aided by several defining relationships in my life. People I met at NDSU who truly live out these ideals. They include Zach Thomas, my supervisor at ACE Tutoring, Jason Boynton, one of the professors in the math department, ministers and people in my Christian ministry group, Chi Alpha, fellow rock climbers, and most notably, my randomly assigned suite mate, David. David's greatest quality is that he's genuinely service-oriented, and he will promptly drop whatever he's doing, whether it's deferring to the group's need or going out of his way to pick up something I forgot at the dorm. David is always the first to offer help, and he does so willingly and ungrudgingly. Previously, I wanted to be around people who could provide value to me in some way. You're funny and you give me laughter. You're talented in this area and can give me guidance. Or you have connections that would be advantageous to me. In this transactional view of relationships, I saw David voluntarily taking losing transactions to serve others. Reflecting on this, I recognized the fruit of David's service-minded friendship, and that it was rooted not in immediate gain, but instead in earnest love for others. This deeply resonated with me and began to mature my understanding of what qualities truly matter. Over time, my definition of success has moved away from the worldly prowess and towards loving and serving others well. Since then, the moments I'm most proud of at NDSU stem from how I treat others through tutoring at the rock climbing club, in the jazz band, or through campus ministry. What was once, I'm going to get a 36 on the ACT to show people I can do it, has now become, I want to help students at ACE to fulfill their potential. This winter, on my birthday, around 30 people came to my house for a surprise party. Seeing people from all different circles of my life, Chi Alpha, music, and high school friends, all coming together was beautiful. I felt seen and supported by all of them, and I recognized the deep joy I found in interacting with each other. Loving others well and forming deep connections with my peers, instead of ambitious personal growth, has been a path that my pre-college self would have questioned, but I'm confident that it is the best and most meaningful decision I've made in my life. I'm incredibly grateful for NDSU and the amazing people here who've helped me realize that profound truth. At NDSU, success is often measured by service. Obviously, we are a research institution, and we do excellent work, which is valuable, but the greater value is the service that I see. We possess a rich culture and legacy of serving our community to the best of our ability. That is what makes us a herd, and why we are so unique. I'm a mathematician at heart, so let me put it this way. Universities have a function. They come in with a diverse range of interests and hobbies, and we export them in a singular, unified vision to serve. This is evident in our Recognition Society donors and the award honorees who are here to celebrate tonight, directing a world-class library like Robbie Lauf, inspiring generations of land managers like Karen Launchbaugh, advocating for our values in industry like Michael Uetz, helping students achieve their aspirations like the Berry Foundation, or volunteering for decades like Paul Berg. I'm incredibly grateful for the generosity and servant leadership demonstrated by these individuals and organizations. I would also like to acknowledge that my story would not have been possible without the help of individuals who chose to invest in my future through scholarship support. I hope you know that I'm one of the many stories of students on campus who are deeply impacted by the network of NDSU faculty, staff, alumni, and supporters who lead by example and lift us up. Today, I serve as an enthusiastic ambassador for the university and speak highly of NDSU to those around me. I'm humbled to reside in your company and partake in a movement much larger than myself. I may have been late to the party, but I'm now a proud Bison.
Thank you, Chance. I think we're going to see you up here within the next 15 years. How about that? Your story is a powerful and genuine reflection of what it means to be a part of the herd. So thank you for reminding us that true success is measured not only by achievement, but by service to others. I already said the next line, so I'm jumping ahead. So all right, we move back to the awards. Sorry about that, folks. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual who has provided outstanding volunteer service for the benefit of the university, or someone who has played a vital role as a volunteer fundraiser on behalf of the NDSU Foundation. Dr. Paul Berg is our 2026 Distinguished Service Award recipient. Dr. Paul Berg, class of 1960, 1968, and 1975, has dedicated 6 decades to advancing animal sciences through teaching, outreach, and volunteer leadership. Joining NDSU's faculty in 1966, he taught and mentored students while completing his graduate degrees and became especially known for coaching NDSU's meat judging and meat animal evaluation teams, a passion that continues to shape his service today. As Associate Professor Emeritus, Paul has been instrumental in growing the Animal Science Education Foundation and in helping secure a transformative $5.5 million endowment to sustain judging programs and scholarships for future students today. This endowment has been funded by a large contingent of alumni who, through the years, have recognized the impact and value the program and Paul has had on their lives. In addition, Paul's impact at NDSU includes numerous awards, co-founding the popular barbecue boot camp, supporting carnivore catering, and its signature Military Appreciation Day at the North Dakota State Fair. Paul's influence extends nationally through more than 40 years of involvement in meat and livestock judging and recognition from the American Meat Science Association, including its highest honor, the R.C. Pollock Award, and designation as an AMSA Fellow. He also received an honorary American FFA degree in 2022. Even in retirement, Paul remains deeply connected to NDSU and the animal science community. His family reflects that his lifelong dedication to education, outreach, and fundraising has left an enduring legacy felt across North Dakota and far beyond. Dr. Berg's legacy is defined by decades of service, mentorship, and quiet leadership. Please join me in viewing this tribute.
I'm Paul Berg, native here of Fargo, North Dakota. I grew up just 14 miles from campus here at NDSU and started 4-H when I was 8 years old. We had cattle, always wanted to be a cowboy. Graduated in 1955, came to NDSU at the fall of 1957. Really wanted to do something with agriculture. I could help on the farm and go to school and study about being a cowboy, I guess. I graduated in 1960 in the first class that was designated as NDSU. Went to work for the Extension Service at Washburn, North Dakota, and came back and tried to be in the pig business. All my pigs died, and I couldn't figure out why. So I went up to NDSU to talk to Bill Denison, specialist in animal nutrition, and he says, "Hell, I can't figure out what's killing your pigs. Do you ever think of graduate school?" That was a Thursday. I went to school Monday. I've been there ever since. I started working as an assistant in animal agriculture shortly thereafter, and actually was put on the faculty in 1966. Took me 12 years to finish my graduate school career, which I would guess is pretty much a record. B.K. Johnson retired and I took over the meat judging team. Did that from 1975 until I retired in 2012.
Everybody, if you're related to meat science, meat judging, they know who PB is, Paul Berg. He's won every award that the American Meat Science Association can put out, including their top one. We had the barbecue boot camp on the road for a good 10-year run.
Barbecue boot camp came about because so few consumers know where their food comes from. So how do you get people to listen to the farmer side of production agriculture? You feed them.
The people out across the state now know him as Old Spice, the spices, marinades, and rubs, teaching people about that.
What in the heck is a geneticist doing talking about spices? Said it's because I was the last one to get a job. 1984, Matt Swantek and I started Carnivore Catering.
Carnivore Catering is an opportunity for students to gain some teamwork activity, and by putting in hours through catering, they can submit some expenses that they would have outside of their graduate student stipend. I don't know anybody that has a greater loyalty or greater love of NDSU than he does. In particular, the Animal Science Department and the programs that go beyond the classroom. My dad was very persistent in reaching out to people that could provide a pool of money to help rebuild that legacy.
2019, I wanted to register the Animal Science Education Foundation. The original idea was to try and get some scholarships so that we would have a carrot kind of to hang over a kid's nose to come to NDSU to be on a judging team. We have been very active fundraising. Right now we're going to have a little bit over $5.5 million in the foundation that we have raised over the 5-year period.
He's got a broad group of people that he can draw upon for fundraising, and if they have the means, they're going to do that for him. He keeps himself pretty busy in the different seasons of the year. By that I mean golf season, trap shooting season, hunting season, and then when it's cold winter season, he practices his artwork.
You can do anything you want with wire if you get it hot enough, so I decided it would be awful nice if somebody did something for graduating seniors of the basketball teams. I've been giving them to the men's and women's basketball teams since 1999. A couple of presidents have them. I just gave one to Dave Cook, gave one to Gene Taylor when he left because he was a pretty good friend of mine. Thought there's got to be something you can do with barbed wire that besides hurt things. So
Paul Berg is a cherished icon at NDSU. When I took class from my dad, of course, he was very good about engaging the students with a very difficult topic. Those are very big shoes to fill. That level of dedication is very rare nowadays, and he's been doing that for over 50 years.
I just enjoyed teaching.
Welcome to the stage, 2026 Distinguished Service Award honoree, Dr. Paul Berg.
Congratulations, Paul, and again, congratulations and thank you to all our honorees tonight. Together, their achievements reminded us of what's possible when opportunity, education, and purpose come together at NDSU. To conclude our evening, Interim President Rick Berg will share a few words. Now, as most of you know, Mr. Berg is a Bison alum and cares deeply about the institution and its future. Given the nature of our friendship and relationship, it would be entirely appropriate for me to make a wisecrack or two about him at this moment, or the critical issues and decisions he has had to make as interim president, but I'll refrain.
I get to
That's right. Thus, while I'll refrain. Not everyone is willing to pursue and effectively lead a university like NDSU, but Rick has done just that, and for that we are grateful. He's had a twinkle in his eye from day one and not shied away from addressing important issues to sustain NDSU's momentum. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Interim President Rick Berg.
There's a lot more to that story. First of all, I want to thank the people that were honored tonight. Going after Paul Berg's pretty tough. Try and raise a fund to get some more pigs for him so he can try and keep them alive. I know you can, Paul. But again, everyone here that's honored tonight and been honored here before, just congratulations. I did want to say one thing, that table 10, where is table 10? Okay, just be careful. There might be a president coming out of table 10. Last year I sat at table 10. So I had someone that really didn't know my history too much and asked me about, how long I'd been, working on becoming president, and when did I first, how many years ago did I start thinking about being president? And I said, 4 months. I've done a lot of things in my life. I can't think of a bigger honor that I've had to be in this role. And again, I'm not going to be able to say this probably correctly, but I think we all sense tonight, and I would say this, tonight the people that are here, I've been to a lot of banquets, a lot of places where we've recognized someone. The people that are here tonight are not just the close family of the people we've recognized, but it's really Bison alumni. And so as Chance spoke as a new Bison coming in, I mean, that's really impactful. And that's when I started this job, I was, really welcomed, if you will, and welcomed back to the herd. And I'd kind of left for a long time. I came back, but this is really family. And I can't tell you how proud I am of the leadership on campus. And I did want to make a note, probably just to compliment John and his whole team at development. They're such professionals, and you see it by tonight. Just the professionalism they brought to this event. But for me, it was like welcoming back into the herd, and then here we are tonight. We're not here because we're just recognizing someone, but we're recognizing the impact they've had in their area of expertise. And it's kind of like a family comes together and we're supporting and recognizing that person. And so, what we've always heard, the strength of the bison is the herd, and the herd is the strength of the bison. And so I found a lot about that, and it's really 1 + 1 = 3. And that's what it is here. We have people that are connected by so many different areas. And, for me, the one bit of advice, and what's happened to me personally, is by saying, yeah, I'll do that for 4 months. It really, and I should thank my wife, Tracy, because she said, yeah, go for that. Why not? Yeah. But it's meant so much for me, and I feel I've gotten 10 times back at all the work and things I've done. So again, the herd, the strength of the bison, it's about each individual and how we work together. And I've always liked the bison. The last big buffalo herd, bison herd in America was down by Hettinger where I grew up. And it's a unique animal because when there's a storm, it faces a storm. And I think that's what I've seen at NDSU. When there's an issue that's a tough issue, they don't do like a horse or cow and kind of turn their back to it and ignore it. They press into it, and they want to solve these things. They want to make decisions. And so I couldn't be prouder of what I've seen. I've been on the outside. I've been under the hood now, and for all the alumni here, you can be so proud of what we're creating, both today and I think long term. You know, it's been a clash for me being this private sector guy that I step into the university, right? And we're just, you know, we come from different areas. But I've been really welcome to my ideas and things that I've done. And of course, I think a lot of people didn't get mad at me because they knew I was short term. One interesting story, the other day, someone came and gave me a compliment. And I thought, you know, I like to joke around. I go, oh, you're just buttering me up. And he gave me this blank look on his face and said, why would I butter you up? You're going to be gone. So I'm like, you know, I'm getting honest feedback now that I probably never had in my life. But there were three things that I really felt that were just this close to really blowing the lid off and really taking North Dakota State, you know, a quantum leap forward. I think our ability to interact with business, really our land grant mission, and that's to help the students, provide the research, and help the economy. And so the things that I saw are, one, we really need to grow enrollment. Number two, we want to expand research. And number three, we want to have an impact, an economic impact on the whole state. Not only by providing students that are passionate about their career and well-trained and able to help those, but all the other ways we can help a business grow. And so I was like, I don't know how to make that happen. I'm not experienced in that. So I was really stressed about 2 months ago and trying to figure out how do we fix these things? How do we improve them? Because they're just so close. And then I met Marshall Stewart. I am so excited about Marshall Stewart. He has decades of history in land grant, and he's really focused on solving those three problems. One, expanding NDSU, helping us be that land grant mission to help all the counties, 53 counties, grow. He's fired up about getting NDSU aligned. We don't have to be all things to all students, but there are certain students we have to focus on and help them have a great experience, help them get the training, and help them be successful in their career. So I'm just very excited about him and Jan. I know a lot of you haven't met them, but I'm looking forward to them finding the herd and stepping into the herd and being a part of the herd. Excuse me. So I thank all my new friends, and thanks for letting me back in the herd. And I just encourage each of you, when there's a door that opens that's for NDSU or about NDSU, try and give your time, your talent, or your treasures in some small way. And if you do that, I know it will come back to you tenfold. So with that, there's one of the great people I knew in North Dakota was Harold Schaefer. I didn't know him well, but he said in life, what you want to do when you take on a role, when you leave it, you want to know that you put some more, you left more wood on the fire, or you left more wood on the wood pile. And so I hope that that I'll be looked at that I did put a little more wood. Some of it was not burning when I put it on the fire. But with that, just thank you everyone, and I'd say go Bison.
Thank you all, and that was heartfelt, Rick. We could sense it. Thank you for what you've done. This little side hustle was something you didn't have to do, but we appreciate your leadership during this time. We've been able to work together. We continue to work on things together as a foundation along with leadership at the university. We just want to thank you for the time that you've donated here to NDSU. Thank you again. Okay, I get to close this down, and I'm a little out of breath. I went from literally I didn't know range science would get me to tears. You're sleeping under the stars with your students for days on end and teaching about range science and focused grazing. Thank you, Dr. Karen. We've got that July 4th on our calendar, Robbie, right? And between now and then, you keep getting asked, is it going to be done? And the answer is it will, right? Michael, thank you for the transparency you've added, your agricultural life. There's a beach theme tonight that you're part of, so thank you for that as well. Yeah, and Sentinel Butte, I see Lardy there as well. The Berry Foundation, thank you for all the ongoing support. In addition to buildings, it's about people there as well. And I'm thinking about, who did I forget? No, I didn't forget about you. I went from tears to laughter over some unfortunate incident in your life. I mean, but then you kept having the one-liners after that. It just one went into another. So I have a son-in-law that I have no doubt took range science, and I'm going to ask him what you were really like in class, because he'll have a blast, I'm sure, to tell me. So as we wrap up this evening, I've kind of went through broadly those honorees. We've had the 4 societies. Let's give all of those one more round of applause. They're so well deserving. Because what NDSU is about, it's nice to have a nice campus, it's nice to have nice facilities, but it's really the people. It's the faculty, it's the staff, and it's the students. And it's all of you as alumni and supporters of that institution to see those like Chance, right? I get all choked up because I've known Chance for a few years. Turned into a pretty good guy. By the way, we tried to hire him at MDU, but he found this other job at Applied Digital, and we want to wish you the best there, Chance. And that's a true story. So I do want to close now, as we've closed a lot of our events with the foundation over the past couple of years. And don't get worried, it won't be me singing, but I want to invite the Bison Art. Oh, I want to do one more. I want to do one more thank you to the SEI folks. Mark Morgan, Astrid Rao, are you still here? Please stand. We want to recognize you one more time as our presenting sponsor. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate the partnership for 10 years. For 10 years, we've had this partnership with SEI, and they've done outstanding things with our investments. And now I'd like to invite the Bison Arts singers to the stage, who will lead us in the singing of the green and the yellow. Everybody stand up and let's participate.
Love song.
Thank you for attending tonight's event. Please drive safely. We'll see you next year.
No questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, you can't stop it if you try to. This time it's danger staring you in the face. Oh. Listen as your day